So somebody left a comment in one of my videos saying that the thing that's been killing the American middle class has been the fact that our taxes have been rising for the last 50 years. And I said, over the course of the last 50 years, your taxes have actually gone down. It's greed that's been killing us. It's been greed from the corporations and the companies that make the products and goods that we buy, continuously jacking the price up for those goods and services, and greed from the employers that employ the general masses, not paying a wage to keep up with the cost of living. The greed from those two entities have combined to make sure that the American middle class wages have not been able to keep up with the cost of living, and that's what's been killing us for the past 50 years. That's why 50 years ago you could have one income in the household, and now you cannot. Jack decides to go back further and say, go back and look at it from 1960. Actually, if you do look at it from 1960, the tax burden for the upper class has shrunk, and the tax burden for the middle class has increased. But it increased from 1960 going up until Reagan got into office, and then it's been going down. The last 50 years, it's been actually going down. You know what we have a problem with, though? Wages from that period of time to now. $1 in 1960 is equivalent in purchasing power to about $10.86 today. That's an insane jump. The dollar had an average inflation rate of 3.74% per year between 1960 and today, producing a cumulative price increase of 986.03%. And this is what I've been talking about. You can click on these little paper clips and you can go read these articles, which I have, but this breakdown is pretty concise. Income grew rapidly and at roughly the same rate across the entire income distribution in the 1960s, meaning the gap between higher and lower earners remained relatively stable. From the 1970s onward, this trend shifted dramatically. Economic growth slowed and income inequality began to widen, with higher earners experiencing significantly faster income growth compared to lower earners. The trend in wealth inequality is even starker. In 1963, the wealthiest families held 36 times the wealth of families in the middle. By 2022, this ratio had increased 71 times, from 36 times. Therein lies the problem, my guy. You want to talk about taxes? Okay, individual tax rates contributed to 44% of the federal revenue in 1960. Today, they account for 46%. Now, keep in mind, you went back 65 years. The guy was only talking about the last 50 years. Taxes increased from 1960 into the point where Ronald Reagan came in, and then they started to decrease dramatically. But they're relatively close. 44% in 1960, 46% in today. You're paying more for your Social Security taxes. We paid 2.75% for employers and employees combined, where it's 12.4% now. But this is the problem. 71 times more than the middle class make, where it was 36% or 36 times more back in the early 60s. Wages aren't keeping up. Anything else you need me to look up for you today, Jack?